Welcome back. You know, what really struck me in our source material this week was just how bold it is. Right from the start, it claims to solve the 400-year-old Descartes crisis.
It's an incredible claim.
So for this deep dive, we're unpacking this proposal for something called the International Strategic Station for Conscio-Science, the ISS-C.
And it really forces you to ask the question, why launch a whole new strategic station? I mean, don't we have universities working on consciousness?
We do, but the architects here argue that those institutions are fundamentally well broken.
Or at least operating with a flawed map. That's the core idea. The ISS-C is presented as the architectural fix for an institutional failure.
And Professor Sodaro is pretty blunt about this. He calls existing cognitive science's approach a defective map.
Right. And it's effective because it only maps a tiny part of the territory.
Only 9 dimensions, or what they call Kapling Ruang.
Exactly. You can think of those 9 as R1 and R2. Basically the body and the mind. The classic split.
Okay, but calling that a failure, an architectural failure no less, feels a bit harsh, doesn't it? What makes that old map so unusable today?
Well, the argument is that a map with only body and mind, with R1 and R2, is just. It's incomplete. It can't map the one thing that actually drives shared purpose.
So the ISS-C is built to map what's missing.
The 18 missing Kapling Ruang, which, when you add them all up, gives you a total of 27 spaces. And they call this whole system the Diriverse.
27 spaces. And for that missing third dimension, they've introduced a new term, Intrincy. R3. Why do we need yet another piece of jargon?
I get that. But from their perspective, the old word consciousness is just too messy.
Too ambiguous.
Exactly. They argue that ambiguity has damaged Western philosophy for centuries. So intrincy is a clean architectural term. It's the dimension, R3, that specifically maps meaning, or Makna, and purpose to one.
And that's what makes it strategic.
That's it. If you want to solve things like AI, ethics, or technology governance, you need a map for purpose.
Okay, so this is a radical system with new terminology aiming to unite. Well, everything. How on earth do you get competing fields like neuroscience and, say, ancient wisdom to even talk to each other, let alone cooperate?
That's the genius of the architecture. It's neutral. And it works through something they call the docking principle.
The docking principle.
Right. They designed this universal grid, Lulux map, which is structured as a $10 times 3 grid. Think of it as a space station with standardized docking ports for any knowledge vessel.
So any field can just dock?
Any field. A neuroscientist docks with their R1 and R2 data. A philosopher docks with their ethical frameworks. Even something like Nusantara wisdom, which they say maps Neurani, can dock.
And no one has to give up their own methods or beliefs.
Precisely. No vessel loses its sovereignty. But, and this is the key to dock, you have to contribute your data using their coordinates, R1, R2, or R3.
So it all feeds into one massive unified data pool for this new Conscio-Science.
A hub that finally connects body, mind, and intrincy. It's basically saying all those old dualisms failed because their architecture was incomplete.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you listening to this? The source material frames it as a collective task.
It does. The mission now is to map all 27 Kapling Ruang of this Diriverse.
A huge undertaking.
It is. So here's the thought I want to leave you with. If the central problem for our advanced digital civilization is this lack of a shared architectural purpose, then what existing strategic policies, what systems, maybe around data or governance, might we need to undock ourselves from right now just to even begin that crucial mapping of R3?